Hi, friends. This is the reading lesson for second grade. Today we're going to read a story called How the Beetle Got Its Gorgeous Coat. Please make sure you have your booklets open to page 10. You have a pencil and you have a highlighter. Today's story is specifically called a pourquoi tale. Pourquoi is a French word for the word why. So pourquoi tales, you sometimes might hear it called a why tale. They give some sort of imaginative explanation of why something is the way it is. So in this story, we are going to learn why beetles have that beautiful green and gold coat or like outer shell. Now, this is imaginative, which means it's not necessarily true, but some people may believe it. All right, let's get started with our reading.
Short Read 2. Remember to annotate as you read.
How the Beetle Got Its Gorgeous Coat. Today, the beetles of Brazil are admired for their beautifully colored coats. However, there was once a time when they wore plain brown coats. How did their coats change? It all took place long ago. A brown beetle was happily crawling along a wall. Suddenly, a large gray rat ran to her and laughed. "See how quickly I run," the rat boasted, for he often liked to brag. "You probably envy my speed." "I'm not jealous of you," the beetle replied politely. "I'm glad that you can run so fast." Meanwhile, a brightly colored parrot had overheard their conversation. "I have an idea," she exclaimed. "Let's have a race."
Okay, so let's stop right there. I want you to grab your highlighters and you're going to pause the video and highlight the important things that we've learned so far about the rat, the beetle, and the parrot, and what we think, how that's going to affect our story. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Okay, so first of all, we know that we are learning about the beetles of Brazil, and we know that they have beautifully colored coats. But there was once a time, when they wore plain brown coats. So now we're going to learn the story of how that changed. So we meet who? We meet this rat, right? And the rat started boasting or bragging about how fast he was. So we can highlight the rat boasted. And he says, "See how quickly I run?" And the beetle just says, "I'm glad you can run so fast." It's a nice way to respond. But then the parrot comes along, and what does she say? She says, "Let's have a race." And maybe we should mention she's brightly colored too. Okay, so let's keep on going.
"The winner will receive a unique and special prize, a brightly colored coat in colors of your choice,"
she added. The rat and beetle were excited. Both wanted a colorful coat.
Okay, so what does the winner of the race get? A brightly colored coat in colors of your choice. So that's what the winner gets. And the rat and the beetle, they're both brown, and they're like, "Yes." Or I think the rat's gray, but they're like, "Yes, let's do it." They both wanted to be, super comfortable or colorful. All right, so let's see what happens in this race.
Soon the race began. The gray rat ran swiftly as usual. The beetle crawls so slowly, he thought. She can't possibly win. Imagine the rat's surprise when he reached the finish line and found the beetle there.
How did you do it?
He asked.
I flew.
She replied quietly and spread her wings.
I didn't know you could fly,
The rat whispered. Then the beetle chose a gorgeous green and gold coat, the same coat she proudly wears today.
All right, this story kind of reminds me of the tortoise and the hare, right? One of the characters is bragging and thinks that they are a total shoo-in. They're totally going to win, but then the other character wins. Very similar. So let's go back and highlight. In paragraph 8, we know that the gray rat runs fast and is totally like, no way, that beetle cannot win, right? But what happened when the rat got to the finish line? He finds the beetle. How did the beetle get there? The beetle says, I flew. The rat had no idea, right? And then the beetle gets to choose the gorgeous green and gold coat that she still wears today because she won the race. Okay, so go ahead and put your highlighters away. Now we're going to do another story events chart, just like we did with the blind man and the elephant. And we are going to do the beginning, the middle, and the end this time. So go ahead and turn to page 10 and 11. We will write our story events chart on page 11. So start by writing beginning with a colon. And remember, this is where we introduce our characters, the setting, if it's there, and kind of what is going on. So we meet the gray rat and the brown beetle. And we know that the rat is kind of bragging about his colors, and the beetle is kind of like, whatever. But then the parrot comes along and says, let's have a race, and the winner will get a new shining coat. So that's basically what we're going to write. We're going to turn that into a sentence. So we will start by saying, a gray rat brags to the brown beetle about its speed. The parrot comes along and suggests, a race between the two. It's a little long. Hold on, let me make my font a little bit smaller for you. Okay, so it says, a gray rat brags to the brown beetle about its speed. The parrot comes along, or a parrot comes along and suggests a race between the two animals. The winner will get a colorful new coat. There we go. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to finish writing that. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next part. So in the next part, we are going to write middle. And so we know the gray rat is running super fast, but the beetle flies, right? So let's start by saying the gray rat runs as fast as he can to try and win the race, but the brown beetle flies to the finish line. He eats the gray rat. So if you need to pause the video to finish writing that, go ahead. And when you are ready, we are going to write one more. So, how does this story end? I want you guys to come up with your own story event for the end. I'm going to give you a hint. Look at paragraph 12 and use that to write a sentence on how the story ends. When you are done writing that sentence, you're going to either type it on Canvas or you can read me what you wrote as in a media submission, just like you guys do most of the time. So you can either type it out or you can write it. Okay? All right. Great job today, friends. We will see you later.